the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Punch that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. Shout out to all the Patreon members. If you want to become a Patreon member, go to the Patreon. The link is in the description of the video. If you want to hop on this stream, join the Patreon because you might want to talk about this or have something to say. All right. So we do have a few more members in the Patreon that just joined. Salute to each and every one of you. But again, if you want to hop on these streams, the late night streams, and chop it up and talk about whatever we're talking about with me, you have to sign up for the Patreon. All right. All right. But we got to get into this. Apparently I missed something today. Colin Cowherd just destroyed the Miami Dolphins. And I went on Twitter and like everybody keep atting me. And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm looking at it and it's the same video. Everybody wants my reaction on what Colin Cowherd had to say. You know, what are my thoughts? And before I watched it, I saw a lot of people in the media like he's an idiot, don't know what he's talking about. Then I saw creators, this is not correct. And, automatically, I'm against the grain sometimes. So I'm like, let me go look at this and give my opinion. I just finished watching it. And I said, yeah, let me go live right now. Right now without hesitation, because we got to talk about this, man. And I got to break it down because I also looked at the comment section on a lot of the posts and it was very interesting to me. Very interesting. Okay. I'm going to play it and I'm going to break it down step by step. I'm going to play everything he said. And then we're going to talk about each and every aspect. So the first thing I'm going to do is play it all the way through. I'm going to play it all the way through. And then we're going to play it again, but break it down point by point. And we just want to see, is he off basis or is he making sense? Or is he just tripping, So let's break it all down. Again, punch the like button. Hit that like button. Let your friends and family members know about the channel. But let's break it all down right here on TD Fins Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphins. All right, here we are playing the Colin Cowherd's clip. Let's react to it.
Who the media covered, it's just interesting to me who the media covets favor to. Like there are times that the media just decides we like that guy and we're going to defend that guy. And I've argued that Mike McDaniel in Miami looks like a sports writer. He's kind of snarky and quirky and they just decided we like that guy. And Nick Sirianni's kind of obnoxious. He had a bad opening press conference. And I admit, I was like, this guy looks like he's over his skis. But I've come full circle on Sirianni. It works. Players like him. Matt Hasselbeck yells at me. He's good. McDaniel's been a funny guy because Miami is noisy. The Tyreek Hill situation. Is anybody do you think Belichick would put up with that? Belichick would have moved off that guy. I mean, Andy Reid did move off that guy. And yet Mike McDaniel, and this was always my thing, is he a culture builder? Yeah, he's smart. A lot of smart people aren't great football coaches. So I feel the Tyreek Hill situation a couple days ago, it's like, hey, you got to show up. You got to show up every day, be on time. And then he wasn't on time. And he's never really punished. And I just think the best coaches in this league set a certain standard. But nobody calls Mike McDaniel out. It's that he's got this incredible football acumen. Here's the thing. The 2 years before he got there, and the media did not like Brian Flores because Brian Flores is disagreeable. He's rough. He's lousy at a press conference. He's an unbelievable coach. I think he's the best defensive coordinator in the league. Brian Flores of Minnesota. In fact, I was reading the other day, The Athletic ranked all the coaching staffs in the NFL. They put Minnesota number 1. I don't disagree. I think San Francisco is up there. The Rams are up there. But it's like, I didn't disagree with that. Flores is unbelievable. But he's not somebody that's going to curry favor with the people who cover it. He's rough on people. He's rough on players. McDaniel, I think Flores is a better coach than Mike McDaniel. Okay? 8 games into his Miami stay, Brian Flores had established elite special teams and elite defense. What am I, 3-4 years into Mike McDaniel? What are they? I looked it up this morning. The 2 years before he got there, Miami was 10-6 and 9-8. The last 3 years with Mike McDaniel are 28-23. They have a lower win percentage. Well, I don't get it. But he's gotten such favorable press. There have been 14 different head coaches that have made the playoffs since he arrived in Miami. He's not one of them. And so I always feel this with Miami. So much of it is image instead of actual structure. What are the Dolphins? Do you like their line play? No, they got rid of Wilkins, and I don't like their offensive line. Do you like their drafting? It's very hit and miss. They've overpaid for wide receivers. And I've been saying this for years. They're the speedboat of the NFL. They're the convertible of the NFL. Speedboats and convertibles are not built to be driving around, even in Miami in January. And that's when it matters in the NFL. If you start looking at the AFC in my lifetime, it's been controlled mostly by the Pittsburgh Steelers in bad weather, or Baltimore, New England, Kansas City. Now Buffalo's great again. Baltimore's great again. Can you play outside inclement weather? So my fun, and it looks like Gucci, but closer inspection, it's sus.
They've called.
It's just interesting.
All right. Did y'all hear that just fine? I just want to make sure the audio came through fine. Did you all get a chance to hear it clear? Yes or no in the chat. That way we can move forward and talk about it. If you did, let me know if you heard it just fine in the chat. All right. Let me see here. And y'all punch that like button on your way in the building. All right. Yo, TD, you seen the comments on the collective podcast today? Miami Heat shorts. I haven't seen the comments. I don't really read comments as much anymore. I'm pretty sure it's a whole bunch of people that's mad about my take. But what's new? I did see that it almost has 5,000 views already, and it's only been over for like 2.5 hours. So, yeah, man. I'll go check them out though. But I'm pretty confident it's just more people hating on me as usual. But it always does what it does. Moves numbers, people hate. Just like Colin Cowherd here. It seems like what his opinion is also controversy, which moves numbers. But you know, here's what I've learned. People don't listen to what people say if it doesn't align with what they believe or what they like or what they want to hear. And that's the reality. And I've learned that and I've come to grips with it. And I've also, realized you have to stick to your opinion. You have to stick to what you believe. And at the end of the day, whether you agree or disagree, it's your opinion. You can't worry about other people, what they say about it. People have told Colin Cowherd he needs to get a real job. He needs to stop. He needs to quit podcasting. This man makes buku money doing what he does. And that's how people are. So that's why I learned from people like Colin Cowherd and other people. You can't worry about what other people have to say. If you believe what you believe, speak it and let people talk about it. That's what their job is, right? All right. They're going to always call to cancel you and do all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, they're still watching. No matter how many times they say, oh, I'm not going to watch that guy. You know, I mean, we learned that even on my side with the collective. Oh, I can't watch that guy. But every week you're posting that on the video. Okay, so let's break down what Colin Cowherd said, because I'm going to let the cat out the bag right now. I 1,000% agree with them. And that's going to upset some people and they're not going to like it. But let me explain why. And again, once again, people who disagree, they're in their feelings. When Colin Cowherd goes on rants like this, he's literally breaking down the game of football and all the observations. And let me tell y'all something too. You need to start listening more to people who cover the entire NFL, not just the Miami Dolphins. You should start listening to people who actually talk about the entire NFL and not just the Miami Dolphins, because they see the trends. They have a much bigger scope of what's going on with the way the NFL works. And the problem with a lot of Dolphin fans, they're only inside Miami Gardens. That's all they know. That's why you always get every year, oh, we're going to win 12 games with this. I think we could win 13. And have no clue about how good or bad other teams in the league have gotten. They're so close-minded. And they only want to believe what they want to believe. Okay? Tony H said he was wrong about McDaniel not making the playoffs. I think people misunderstood what he meant by that. And I think he was really referring to playoff wins. But it doesn't matter. His point was still factual about the playoffs. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Okay? So let's break it all down step by step and everything he has to say.
To me, who the media covets favor to. Like, there are times that the media just decides we like that guy and we're going to defend that guy. And I've argued that Mike McDaniel in Miami looks like a sports writer. He's kind of snarky and quirky and like they just decided we like that guy. And then
from day one, they like McDaniel. That's all he's saying. From day one, the media like McDaniel. Benefit of the doubt automatically. And then you got to ask yourself why. First of all, let's back up here. Yes or no? Day one, everybody, media, everybody like Mike McDaniel. Yes or no? Yes or no in the chat. Day one, without seeing him coach a single game. Day one, McGenius, everybody like Mike McDaniel. Yes or no in the chat? Yes or no in the chat? I'm getting a whole bunch of yeses. So looks like we're somewhere here. And just gave them the benefit of the doubt, but we know why. Because they grew to dislike the previous coach. And how do you justify disliking the previous coach and lock it in and say we have a valid right to dislike him? It's a natural inclination to love the new guy and give him the benefit of the doubt to try to show you the difference between the old guy and the new guy. It's natural. That's what happened in Miami. They automatically gave Mike McDaniel his flowers, narratives of McGenius and everything, just to make sure people can understand the difference between how mean and bad the big bad wolf was before him. And now look, y'all, see what we were trying to tell y'all? So they're going to sell that extra. That's what was happening in Miami. Let's keep going.
Kind of obnoxious. He had a bad opening press conference. And I admit, I was like, this guy looks like he's over his skis. But I've come full circle on Sirianni. It works. Players like him. Matt Hasselbeck yells at me. He's good. McDaniel's been a funny guy because Miami is noisy. The Tyreek Hill situation. Is anybody like, do you think Belichick would put up with that? Belichick would have moved off that guy. I mean.
What did I tell y'all a week or two ago? The Tyreek Hill situation. There ain't a coach in the NFL or general manager that would have put up with what Tyreek has done so far. They would have already traded him, but why won't they do that with Tyreek? Because I already tell you in my opinion, because they need him. Belichick can need you and he gonna get rid of you if you ain't. That's what Belichick did. The great coaches. Nobody's above the team. Nobody's above the coach. No coach in the NFL would put up with that. And I think he says it in here. Andy Reid ain't even want to put up with it no more. Yeah, let's trade him. I ain't paying him that money. But why Miami? Why Mike McDaniel? Because he needs him. Great coaches don't need. They demand that you do things their way and you respect that because they are the coach. But McDaniel needs Tyreek Hill. And that's why I totally agree with this part right here that Colin's talking about. Let's get out our feelings and just recognize Tyreek Hill. And don't get me, and also Tyreek changing the new leaf. He's going to be better. He's going to be on time. I mean, isn't there reports that he's still keep being late? Coming right in, catching footballs, and next day, isn't the report saying he's still been late? Shout out to Greg Neal in the chat saying, they ain't right, TD. Got Ocho Cinco out of there, got Randy Moss out of there, and kept winning. Yeah. So who really is in charge? And this is part of the problem why nobody respects McDaniels. Let's keep going.
Andy Reid did move off that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And yet Mike McDaniel, and this was always my thing, is he a culture builder? Yeah, he's smart. A lot of smart people aren't great football coaches. So I feel the Tyreek Hill situation a couple days ago, it's like, hey, you got to show up. You got to show up every day, be on time. And then he wasn't on time. And he's never really punished. And
this is a fact. Can anybody name a punishment for Tyreek Hill yet? For anything? Or are we going to handle those things internally? Yeah. It hasn't been part, and this is part of the problem.
I think the best coaches in this league set a certain standard, but nobody calls Mike McDaniel out. It's that he's got this incredible football acumen.
And we don't talk about that too. Nobody punishes Tyreek, and nobody says, McDaniel, you slipping. You're letting this happen on your watch. When have you heard somebody say, because haven't we been talking about, oh, the culture's been bad. People been showing up late. and this has been happening, that's been happening. Has anybody stopped to say, that's your fault, Mike McDaniel? No. What has the most of the media have done? Well, he say he's, tried to put things in place and hold players accountable. You could only do but so much. No, like like, come on, man. If this was Adam Gase or anybody else, they'd be crucifying him. But this goes hand in hand with, once again, McDaniel gets the benefit of the doubt because you always want him to be viewed better than the last guy, because even most people in the media don't want the last guy to look better than the current guy. That has been the mission all along. It's been the mission all along. But again, people going to be mad. Oh, my gosh, this clown don't know what he's talking about. You know what? Maybe I don't, but this is like, some of this is like adding up as common sense to me. And it's right here in front of us. Let's keep going.
Here's the thing. The 2 years before he got there, and the media did not like Brian Flores, because Brian Flores is disagreeable. He's rough. He's lousy at a press conference. He's an unbelievable coach. I think he's the best defensive coordinator in the league.
Debatable.
Brian Flores of Minnesota. In fact, I was reading the other day, The Athletic ranked all the coaching staffs in the NFL. They put Minnesota number 1. I don't disagree.
Debatable, but that's still a compliment, which is respectable.
But it's like, I didn't disagree with that. Like, Flores is unbelievable. But he's not somebody that's going to curry favor with the people who cover him.
He's not. Bill Belichick ain't curry favor with the people that cover him. He not trying to be the media friend, buddy. That's another reason why some people in the media, when you get one of those type of coaches, you don't really get anything, because I got to make content, and hey, he ain't giving me nothing. They don't like those kind of guys. They want a guy who's going to be buddy, or at least, be friendly with you. So, and you know what? Let me say this too, because Colin's making a good point and about to make a good point. You know what they always try to do with Brian Flores? They always try to include his first year coaching when we stripped the whole roster, got rid of everything that was good, and really did a full-blown rare for any team, reset. They always, when they talk about Brian Flores numbers, they always try to add the first season, and that is disingenuous. That is disingenuous to add his first season to try to compare him to Mike McDaniel. They always do that to have a case. But anybody with the brain, good and well, you cannot compare that first season. You need to compare year 2 and 3. They were literally trying to tank. He wasn't, because as Colin is about to say, the man after 8 weeks had one of the best special teams and and a really good up-and-coming defense with no-name players. How you think Van Ginkel and Nick Needham and all them guys got their name? No names. By week 8, he had those guys playing excellent special teams and good defense, having competitive games on the back end, and actually winning a lot of them. Whether it was good or bad teams, we were winning some on the back end. With nobody on the roster. But they always want to include that inaugural year where we got rid of everybody to try to deflate his numbers. But if you really want to gauge a Brian Flores, you go off of year 2 and 3.
Rough on people. He's rough on players. McDaniel, I think Flores is a better coach than Mike McDaniel. Okay? 8 games into his Miami stay, Brian Flores had established elite special teams and elite defense. We're by 3-4 years into Mike McDaniel. What are they? I looked it up this morning. The 2 years before he got there, Miami was 10-6 and 9-8.
10-6 in a 16-game season, might I add. Remember that, y'all. In a 16-game season, that is hard. 10-6. That's like the new 11-6. in a 17-game season, but it was 10-6 and 9-8. That is 19 and 14. That is a higher win percentage that McDaniel has since he's been here, and he had talent, the best talent since day one. Brian Flores, if you just count the 2 years, which is fair, has a higher win percentage than Mike McDaniel does since he's been here with way more talent.
The last 3 years with Mike McDaniel are 28-23. They have a lower win percentage. Well, I don't get it. But he's gotten such favorable press. There have been 14 different head coaches that have made the playoffs since he arrived in Miami. He's not one of them.
Now, that's where Colin was wrong. Now, here's what's funny to me. Why is it that you can't acknowledge the 10 facts that he already spoke? The only thing everybody want to focus on, he has made the playoffs. You see it? You see how people do? Now, that one blip in his message discredits all the 10 facts he done already gave. This is why I'm trying to tell you, I don't pay attention to these negative people in the comment section. You need to shut the podcast down. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. You're in a think tank. You don't even think for yourself in a lot of cases, many people. You're hearing what other people think, and you come up with your conclusion. Everything that aligns with that, you agree with. Everything that doesn't align with it, you disagree with, whether you know the facts or not, or you're using logic. This is why y'all got to stop worrying about what other people think. Speak how you speak. Hear them out. I still listen to people and hear their opinion. But if your opinion is based off of bias or not even considering the facts, that's what you dismiss. And that's what people do. Now, I got people in the chat right now say playoffs always matter. Now, let's break this down. This is where, let's stop right here on this playoff thing. Well, McDaniel been to the playoffs 2 out of his 3 seasons. Flores never went. How disingenuous is that? Y'all trying to make a point that ain't landing. And let me tell you why it doesn't land. McDaniel has made the playoffs with a worse record than what Flores had once. Flores was 10-6 and didn't make the playoffs. McDaniel made the playoffs in a 10-7 season. You can't help the rest of the division or the league. It ain't Brian Flores' fault that the rest of the conference was tougher that year. It was the same record. McDaniel just had some fortune within the conference that year. That's all it was. Same record. Now, yes, McDaniel did have an 11-win season as well. One more win with double the talent. Make it make sense. So this whole notion, well, but McDaniel made the playoffs, so you can't compare them to. He's a playoff coach, and Flores isn't. Like, are you kidding me? Flores had half the talent, and Mike McDaniel made the playoffs one year with the same record that Flores didn't. Matter of fact, Flores had one less game to play to try to make it. At least McDaniel had 17 games. Flores only had 16 and had the same win total. Yeah, and last I checked, what's the better win percentage? 10-7 or 10-6? So you mean to tell me McDaniel made the playoffs with the lower win percentage than Flores? See, this is my whole point. You got to do the math. Make it make sense. Oh, well, but he made the playoffs. And what did it amount to? And truth be told, we're making the playoffs as a 7th seed that they also added. Remember, it was how many teams? What was it? What did it used to be? Was the playoff seeding different? Did they change the playoff seed? Did they add a 17? Let me make sure I ain't tripping. Because didn't it used to be 6? If I'm not mistaken, it used to be 6. And they added a 7th. Like, make it make sense. They added an extra slot for you to get in. And an extra game. But we don't care about these facts. We just hear him saying stuff about the Dolphins that isn't favorable. So therefore, oh man, this idiot, he don't know what he's talking about. Why do we always do this? Why can't we? Ladies and gentlemen, we don't own the team. We're fans of the team, but I'm still waiting on enough people to say I'm fan enough to recognize, yeah, you're right. This is where we're falling short. Like we keep going in this rat race and asking ourselves why, and we use every excuse known to man, like injuries or this unit ain't play well. We're going in a rat race, but nobody wants to think deeper and philosophical about the game of football. I literally on the Dolphins Collective tonight. The reason why, like, if I'm just a normal fan, man, give Zealer his money, man. Yeah, we want to see him. He's been great for us. But is that moving the needle towards a Super Bowl? No, because it hasn't already. He's been here. And we're about to restructure the team over the next 2 years. And I'm going to be honest, it's like in my mind, and I could be wrong, y'all, but in my mind, it's like, why isn't anybody seeing what I'm seeing? Because the NFL is a bigger picture than this X's and O game that you think it is. The NFL, that's what makes it so great. It's bigger than X's and O's now. It's about salary. It's about windows. Now that quarterbacks when they start getting 40, 50, 60 million, now it changes the whole landscape of how you build your team. Nobody's talking about the fact that every year 3 to 4 teams like draft a new quarterback, and 2 of them might be really good. And they get to load up $50 million more in assets around them. And it's going to be harder to compete with those teams. And then next year, 2 more teams, but now that makes 4. Then the next year is 2 more teams. Now that makes 6 before any of them get big money. 2 more years, it makes 8. Like, this is happening in the NFL. We're behind the 8 ball. My mic went out. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me just fine, or did my mic go out? Somebody said check the mic, so I just want to make sure. You're good. Okay. We are behind the 8 ball. Football in the NFL is way more advanced now than we think of just X's and O's, go out there and perform. It's bigger than that now. It's so much more intricate. That's why I love the game now more than I ever have, because it's more than just the X's and O's that you have to consider. But everybody's stuck on the X's and O's. They're not thinking about the politics, how the salary cap is infected, how the rookies are coming in more talented, how their talent at a low price is kicking teams out of the playoffs, making it harder. And I'm going to be honest with you. I actually think I found the formula. I think that I found the formula for success in the NFL for teams who are paying a quarterback. I found the formula. But I'm not the only one that found the formula. You know who else found the formula? Because I was studying them. And now to see them do it again the exact same way, I realize I'm right. This is the formula now. If you pay your quarterback, you have to follow this formula or you're in a rat race. You ain't even got a shot. And I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about. I'm going to show y'all this formula, what I'm talking about, and we're going to get right back to Colin Cowherd. And that's the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me show you that was just posted. I said this on the Dolphins Collective tonight about the Eagles. I'm pretty confident went over some people's head like that because they only listen to me to try to tell me how bad I am, but they don't listen to the logic in which I'm trying to instill in them. Let me show y'all something. Watch this. Let me share my screen. Look at this. Dan Orlovsky put this up. This is what I was trying to explain to people on the show tonight. Cap hit this season. Dak Prescott, $50.5 million. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith, $46.9 million. Unserious versus serious. Unserious versus serious. Do you know what that means? What he's saying is the Cowboys are unserious. The Eagles are serious. All these guys are making big bucks and they've been got their money. So they should be on the back end of their contract and their numbers should be massive. Jalen Hurts got his money like 2 years ago or something. His cap hit should start kicking in and hurting. A.J. Brown too and Devontae Smith. Their cap hit should be hurting them right now. You know why they're not hurting them? Because they're following the formula. It's the same thing they did when they won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. They loaded the team so much and kicked the money down the road so far that they gave themselves a 2 to 3 year window to try to get one Super Bowl and do it all over again 5 or 6 years later. Let me break that down. Some of y'all ain't getting it, okay? Back in the day when Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, Wentz went down, Nick Foles started. Don't forget Jay Ajayi. They traded all around the league for starting caliber players to be their backups. They loaded up. They knew we can't afford this, but we're going to do it anyway, and we're going to suck for 5 years, but we're going to come back. And we're going to do it again because this is the formula because quarterbacks get paid now and you cannot sustain a quarterback long-term getting paid. So the best thing to do is jump in windows. And once you win a Super Bowl in that window, you clean your books. It's going to take a few years, clean your books, then jump all in again, screw your books up. But as long as you win a Super Bowl, then clean them up. So what did the Eagles do? They won that Super Bowl. Do y'all remember what the Eagles did after they won the Super Bowl? I'm talking about the first one, not this one. Do y'all? And matter of fact, some of y'all football heads, because I don't remember the exact year. What year was that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl versus the New England Patriots? What year was that? Somebody help me out. I just ain't good on those years. Some of y'all are football scholars. Put it in the chat. What year was it the Eagles won the Super Bowl over the Patriots? Please, somebody. Give me the exact year. I'm waiting on that football brain. I know somebody got it. Somebody gonna look it up fast. 2017. Bam. Let's do it. I'm a Patriots. Okay. 2017, they win a Super Bowl, right? Matter of fact, let me do this. Eagles. Let me pull this up. All right. Give me a second. All right. Where we at here? All right. All right. So, bam. 2017, they went all in and they won a Super Bowl in the first year of them going all in. People forget in 2016, they were fourth in their division. They were fourth in the division. They went all in. Then the next 2 years, they went to the playoffs in both years. But they didn't take advantage of it. They lost the next 2 years. The year after, they lost in the divisional round, and the year after that, they lost in the Western NFC championship or whatever. So you see how they built that 3-year window? They got that 3-year window together. But people also don't remember that right after they won that Super Bowl, they lost half of their talent. They were still competitive, but they lost half their talent the year after they won the Super Bowl. They still won 9 games, 9-7 and 9-7 back to back. But that ain't compared to the 13-3 they won when they went to the Super Bowl. So remember, 2017 season, 13-3, geared up, won a Super Bowl. The very next year, 9-7. The year after that, 9-7. You know why? They lost a lot of players, but they knew they would because they're getting their books in order. They're getting their salary cap in order. Hey, we're going to lose those players. Let's let it happen. Let's eat all this dead cap. And then they hit rock bottom. They went 4-11. 4-11. Literally 4. And matter of fact, let me be fair. 4-11-1. They tied one game. They absolutely tanked it, bombed it. Then they said, okay, we got all our stuff in order. We took 3 years to get all our stuff in order. 9-7, we were still competitive. 9-7 again, we were still competitive. And then we bombed it, and now our books are straight. And what do they do after that? They go from 4-11 right back up to 9-8. This is the Jalen Hurts era. Second in the division. But they knew they had something. Why? Because they lost. They lost in the wild card first year. Then, right after that, they go to a Super Bowl. Their window, they're in it now. They put the money up. Now they're in it. Here comes that 3-year window again. 14-3. First place, lost the Super Bowl. The next year, there was some injuries, but they went 11-6, lost in the wild card. They did another hoorah because they still taking advantage of Jalen Hurts' rookie contract. They can still afford it now because they still taking advantage of the rookie contract. They go 11-6. Then last year, his money kicks in. It actually starts to kick in, but they go 14-3, won a Super Bowl. And this year, they're going to do it one more time. This year, they're going to do it one more time, try to go for broke. But they've already accomplished their goal. Every 3 window we try to build, let's try to get one Super Bowl. And then we'll scrap it all. I'm telling you, watch the Eagles after this season. It's probably going to be downhill unless the rest of the division sucks. But after this year, it's going to go, they're going to bomb it because the money is then going to catch up. And this is proof on the screen right now. Them 3 players totaling only $47 million. And you got Dak Prescott at a $50.5 million cap hit this year. So when the Eagles win or lose the Super Bowl this year and their window closes, we ain't going to talk about the Eagles for 2 years. And all of a sudden, bam, they back on the scene again. They're back on the scene again. Oh, the Eagles here. Oh, man, 13 wins. They understand it. They know what to do. They know exactly what to do. So let me relate that to the Miami Dolphins, y'all. We actually tried that. We actually tried it. Soon as we brought in Mike McDaniel, because we used Flores for the bottom feeding part. Soon as we brought in McDaniel, we did just like the Eagles. We loaded up. But you know how we loaded up? We didn't do it as effective as the Eagles because they also drafted well while loading up. They also drafted well while they loaded up. A lot of similarities. Got the quarterback at the same time. Waddle, Smith or Waddle, same situation. A.J. Brown, Tyreek, same situation. The corners they brought in, us, Ramsey and all of that, same situation. Defensive front, a whole bunch of mix of players. But we're not going to talk about all the players that they drafted, then that we drafted, and the ones that worked out for them and it didn't work out for us. But a big part of that is we went overboard with the trades and stuff. They saved a lot of their picks. They didn't make as many trades. They traded for like A.J. Brown and maybe another star. But we made like 4 different trades. A lot of theirs, they saved their picks. And they made the picks, and they were able to bring in a young guy, develop him, and guess what? We paid $20 million, and they're paying $3 million because theirs was a draft pick. We're paying Tyreek $30. Could you imagine if you would have kept your first-round pick and got one of the top receivers? Not saying we would have hit, but if we did, we would have been paying $3 million a year, $4 million a year. Even if it's 5, 6, 7, you would have been saving that much money. And then you wonder, yeah, but the Eagles got a good O-line. Why do you think they got a good O-line? Because look at how they structured their money. Some of their stars are also on rookie deals. There's a lot of similarities, but they drafted a tad bit better than us. And they went all in like we did. But again, I'm not going to say that we didn't draft some good players just like them. We had Hunt. We had Christian Wilkins. We had these guys. Javon Holland was good enough. But y'all are mad at me if I also say Tua ain't no Jalen Hurts in the NFL. You can say all you want about college. Tua ain't no Jalen Hurts. NFL Hurts. Because NFL Hurts don't fold in big games, cold or hot. Same guy went to Alabama. Oh, he will playing up there long enough. Now he's ingratiated. Jalen Hurts really haven't played bad since he came in the league in the big games. He's always competed. He's always showed up in the big games. But we don't want to have that conversation. We want to talk about, just like I see in the chat right now, Tua better than Hurts stat-wise. We all got eyes. Can you please tell me, when you watch Jalen Hurts in the playoffs and you watch Tua in the playoffs, are you really going to talk about stats? But we don't want to have that conversation. We just want to say, oh, you're just a hater, man. You're not a real fan. I don't even know why people listen to you. Only idiots listen to you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe y'all legitimizing this fraud. But you can't get out of your own feelings to look at the truth. And I'm sorry, yeah, I'm reading some people right now because I'm going to be honest, I'm tired of it now. I don't let it bother me, but at some point you start to realize, man, a lot of y'all just in y'all feelings because you believe what you believe and you're not open-minded enough to say, let me at least hear a different perspective and let me evaluate whether or not it makes sense. Some of y'all, I could say, let me say this. Oh, man, no, you ain't nobody taking you serious. You just automatically closed. And that's your problem. Cowherd ain't said not a thing wrong yet other than the fact of McDaniel's not one of them, the coaches that made the playoffs. Yeah, he made it, but how significant was it? His point still remains, comparing it to Brian Flores, you might as well say he didn't make the playoffs because guess what? Brian Flores put up the same 10 wins he did, and Mike McDaniel made it and he didn't. Y'all don't care about that. Y'all think that makes Mike McDaniel more special that he made it at 10-7 than Flores, who didn't make it at 10-6, even though 10-6 is a better record. But he made it because the AFC was tougher when Brian Flores was here. More teams. If we were 10-6 this year, we would have made it. Brian Flores didn't. Well, 10-7. Why? Because they also added a 7th team to the playoffs. I think, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I think that's one of the most underrated things that nobody ever thinks about. The fact that in 2020, a 7th seed was added. If we were playing in Brian Flores 2019, and remember, this is 2020 after that season. If we were playing in that NFL, Mike McDaniel wouldn't have made the playoffs either. It's one of the most underrated things nobody thinks about, how there's a whole nother slot for a team that would have otherwise not made it. Were we not the 7th seed the year Flores didn't make it? If Flores is so good, why not a head coach? I mean, is that a point you're really making? We all know why he's not a head coach right now. We all know why. First of all, the man was villainized and painted out to be, and I'm not justifying anything Flores did. He's a hard-nosed coach. This is a new era of football, and unfortunately, these players are a lot. They can't take as much. They like hard coaching is like disrespect to them. So I get it in today's NFL, and owners and stuff don't want the press. They don't want to take that on. That's why he's not a coach. But you cannot sit here and tell me Brian Flores is not better than at least 5 to 8 coaches in the NFL right now, head coaches, and McDaniel being one of them. When do we ever have to talk about culture and all of that? Brian Flores came in this building day one. TNT, takes no talent. We all knew the mantras. Every player knew the mantra. We ain't have to talk about this mess. We ain't worry about no pool table or basketball goal in the whatever room and whether they got to be taken. Man, come on. Now all of a sudden everything is about the new what are we calling it? The new culture, and this I don't even know. I don't know. That's what we own now. And this notion, Flores is a good defensive coordinator, a dang good one at that. At it, not all coaches can be head coaches. It's funny though that his first season with nobody on the roster, he showed, hey, we see that you can move results. Just like Dan Campbell. Don't forget, Dan Campbell was our interim head coach. You could tell he could move results like that. And when he went to Detroit, them first 1, 2, or 3 years was trash. But we automatically are saying Brian Flores, yeah, he a good defensive coordinator, but he ain't a good head coach. He can't be a head coach. After 3 years in the first one, you can't even say. After the first one, we was happy with him. After the second one, we was still kind of happy with him. We just didn't like the fact that we can't get the O-line straight. Have we yet to get the O-line straight, even with spending money? We still around here crying about the O-line and whether it's healthy or not. Make it make sense. Let's be fair. Let's finish this thing.
And so I always feel this with Miami. So much of it is image instead of actual structure. Or the Dolphins.
Image instead of structure. That's a good way of putting it. That's exactly what we are.
Do you like their line play? No, they got rid of Wilkins, and I don't like their offensive line. Do you like their drafting? It's very hit and miss.
True.
They've overpaid for wide receivers. And I've been saying this for years. They're the speedboat of the NFL. They're the convertible of the NFL. Speedboats and convertibles are not built to be driving around, even in Miami in January. And that's when it matters.
I ain't gonna lie, he ate there. That was a great analogy. The Dolphins are a speedboat, but they are or in a convertible. Sexy, fast in the summer, camp, running nicely in the fall. But as soon as January comes and it gets cold, you ain't dropping the top. Soon as January comes, you ain't on the speedboat. Cold water. That is us. I mean, he ate with that one. That was an analogy for you that should have hit home for everybody. Factual. Soon as that weather hit, all that sexiness and all of that speed and all of go straight out the window, and we holding ourselves, trying to survive. That's exactly what we are.
The NFL. If you start looking at the AFC in my lifetime, it's been controlled mostly by the Pittsburgh Steelers in bad weather, or Baltimore, New England, Kansas City. Now Buffalo's great again. Baltimore's great again. Can you play outside inclement weather? So Miami is flash and fun, and it looks like Gucci, but closer inspection, it's sus.
Jeez. But please, like, ladies and gentlemen, outside of the little slip up of he's not a playoff coach, what did he say wrong? That got everybody like, oh, they don't know nothing about the Dolphins. What did he say? I'm gonna wait in the chat. Somebody got to give it to me. Other than the little slip up about not being a playoff coach, and we done already explained that. So irrelevant. What did he say wrong? Because you go look, man, it's right here in front of y'all face. Watch this. It's right here in front of y'all face. Y'all can read it. Look at this. Eagles are trying to maximize the short window there. Oh, this ain't the one. Let me pull up the Colin Cowherd one. Somebody hit me up. Let me see. There it is. I want y'all to watch this. Read these comments. Oh, well, we have it. Oh, here it is. Nope, I'm all over the place. I clicked the wrong thing. All right. The fact quoted here is, in fact, not a fact. McDaniel has made 2 playoff appearances. See what I'm talking about? Sadly, he's not wrong. Been a Fins fan my whole life. Salute to Blake. What an ignorant person. 2 playoff appearances for Mike. This guy is just a hater, man. You see what I'm talking about? He reads 10 facts, and you already got 2 at the top talking about the information about the playoffs. Not the substance of what he's trying to say. Just trying to find where he's wrong so that you can feel good about dismissing the whole thing. McDaniel has made the playoffs 2 out of 3. Another one. 3 out of 4 comments. John Gruden is available. McDaniel is only seen as good because his friend is Shanahan and McVay. Today, Colin informed us Mike McDaniels has never made the playoffs. Terry McLaurin hasn't been paid yet. Deebo Samuels is older than Terry McLaurin. See what I mean? Mike McDaniel has never made the playoffs. Dude is always loud and wrong. See what I mean? This is what's out here right now. This is what's on people's mind. It's not. Have you seen anybody say anything like, well, I disagree with this or I disagree with that? It's just that one slip up he had to justify making himself feel better. He must have won a playoff game because he's made the playoffs. There go again. An idiot sandwich. See what I mean? No substance on why. They still haven't addressed a single thing he said in the whole video. They're addressing a 3-second piece. Colin, the Dolphins have made the playoffs 2 out of 3. There you go again. He has made the playoffs again. Okay, Billy Bass flipping the Newsome. You love the McDaniels 2 years ago. I don't know what that is. Colin is not in the mid-year form. Somebody added me. McDaniel is an offensive coordinator. But this is what I'm talking about. These are the same people that'll tell you, why y'all listen to that clown? They're in a think chamber. I just went through about 15 messages, and 10 of them were just about the 3 seconds and not the substance of the rest of it. Give me a second. The wife calling. Got to make sure she's good. All right, she's good. And this is what I gotta fight against every day in our community. And I'm gonna be honest. People be like, you gotta ignore your haters, CD. But you want to know why I do clap back? Because they disrespect y'all. They disrespect y'all to try to get at me. Only idiots listen to this clown. Idiots don't listen to this show. Because I don't claim to be right about everything. I don't claim to be wrong. But I'm giving a perspective with logic behind it. And at the end of the day, you got to make your decision on what you think. But this is all these people result to insults. Just like they're doing with this Colin Cowherd piece. Not a single, like one thing out of 20 points was incorrect. And technically, if you really look at it, however you want to look at it, we know what the man was saying. But that's all they focus on. What are they defending? That's another thing. Are they defending Mike McDaniel? What are they even defending? Makes no sense, man. And I promise you, man. Sometimes I just wrestle with myself and be like, gosh, man, maybe my common sense ain't common at all, but maybe it is me. But come on, maybe it is me. Like so many people don't see just basic logic. It's like, maybe it is me. But no, you got to remember, common sense actually ain't common. Common sense ain't common. TD, people don't want to hear the truth. They want their fantasies. That is why entertainment is so popular. Yeah, I agree. And this is why Colin Cowherd, people like him just continue to be bigger and bigger. You got to be logical at some point. I know, but these are the same people that run around here all day, like proclaiming and professing how much of an idiot I am. And I just be like, what's wrong with people? Like, what's wrong with these people? Like 2 + 2, it's 4. Stop talking to me about a 3.9. It is 4, period. I'm telling you, that's these people logic. It's Saturday, and I'm asking you what's 2 + 2. Well, I mean, if you notice, you're not supposed to do math on Saturday. I only do math. Like, I don't know. Like, they just some randomness of just not answering the questions. Game Boy 305 said, we not miserable like you, TD. Go touch grass. But you're here watching. And matter of fact, Game Boy, how about this? Can you, since you want to stand out there, unless you're going to run, can you enlighten us right now? Can you enlighten us and tell us, outside of the little 3 seconds of error of the playoffs, can you tell us one thing Colin Cowherd said that was incorrect? Can you help us? Please. 3 minutes and 36 seconds he was cooking, and 3 seconds of it was wrong. Can you indulge us just real quick, because we're open to multiple opinions. We want to hear it all because maybe we're missing something, and you might be the one who can shed light on it all. Or if there's anybody else in the chat that is saying to themselves, TD don't get it. He don't see what we see. Enlighten me about this, just this piece right here, outside of the 3 second wrong thing about he's not one of the playoff coaches. He said 20 things. Can you give me the 19, one of the 19 where he was wrong? One of the 19. Just one. He ran, didn't he? He ran. Okay. Thought we had hope, y'all. Thought we had hope. TD, people are getting dumber by the day. Society is cooked. I ain't call these people dumb, man. We ain't got to call them dumb. It's just I just want to understand, because there's something in their brain telling them opposite, though. But I'm just asking them to just tell us the logic that your brain's giving you, because everybody's all over this and they're all saying the same thing. But that's why I say they're in an echo chamber. They're in an echo chamber. The person they love listening to said, oh, he's an idiot. And they all just echo the same thing. They're not really breaking down what he's saying. They're not breaking it down. No lies told. They follow the masses of people who, yeah. Anyway, easily influenced. I know it. All right, man. But yeah, man, that's my reaction to this whole Colin Cowherd piece, man. But is it not a lot of the same stuff that I've been telling y'all for the last few years? It's like Miami just don't get it. We just don't get it. But let's not forget why we defend McDaniel, why he's the genius that we covet, why we're defending him to the death with no logic behind it. Don't forget why. Because he's the guy who defended their beloved guy, Tua Tagovailoa. All this is stemmed to that. That's all it is. It's all stemmed back to that. It's just football, TD. It's entertainment. Some of us just root for our Fins no matter what. And nothing's wrong with that. But I just try to understand how you root. Do you want better for the team or just root? And I want you to think about what I just said there. Do you want better for the team or just root? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And it's a fair question. And maybe you haven't even thought about it that way. Do you want better for the team or just root? Just root for them. Whether they better or not, just root for them. Like, I'm sorry for caring more. I'm sorry for caring more. But you do have a point. For those who just want to root, I see now. And I thank you for actually saying that too. I actually thank you for saying that, because at least that's some logic. That's logic that says, hey, no matter how stupid things they do or bad decisions, or we're just rooting. We don't care. We're so, and maybe you're numb to it. We're so used to it. We don't care. Now I understand at least. Thank you for actually saying that. And not saying that's you, but maybe that's some people's logic. Maybe yours too, but I don't know. I get it. That makes sense. Colin told the truth about us and it wasn't good. Shut up, Colin. I'm a root. I get it. I get it. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about, even though you're right. But I can never say you're right because I'm rooting. Yeah, Marcos, love is blind, bro. But I get it. If you're just a rooter, it don't matter if you want to say, hey, this is the decision you need to make so we can be better. Oh my gosh, you didn't make that decision, but it's okay because I'm a root. See, that's what this is about for me. I'm breaking down every decision the team is making. Then we're judging it long term to try to learn from our history. And when people get on me about my take on Zach Zeeler, wishing the team didn't extend him, they already forgot. I said the same thing about Xavier Howard. How did it work out? Was I right or wrong? When I said don't extend Xavier Howard, and guess what? It was all for the same exact reason with Zeeler. It wasn't injuries. It was the fact that you're about to pay this man while we're technically probably ain't winning no Super Bowl. Use the money and the assets for a younger guy that you could build on for a Super Bowl. Same thing I said about Xavier Howard. But we already forget. Time told us I was right about Xavier Howard. Now you're an idiot once again about Zach Zeeler. And if 3 years from now, we're saying, hey, Zach, we're going to move on from you. There's no more guaranteed money. We didn't do nothing the last 2 years. And we're building this thing again. You could have had another young player. You could have traded him for a draft pick, got a young player, saved money, and then invested in one of your whoever's next that balls out. That actually would be a part of that Super Bowl window. That's all. I'm not saying I'm going to be right, because guess what? Zeeler might play the next 10 years and ball out and help us win a Super Bowl. But I'm just going off of logic and probabilities. The probability is that's not happening. You got a better probability of investing in the future, a younger guy with the money and draft capital you'll get. That's my only thought process. So if the same thing, do y'all know that we were still paying dead cap for Xavier Howard? So 3 years from now, if we paying dead cap from Zach Zeeler because of the same crap, y'all, you still ain't gonna learn, because it's gonna be the next player. Oh, you gotta play. You gotta pay whoever's next. I know he's 29, about to be 30. Stop saying he only 29. He'll be 30 next month. And then y'all keep talking about, you know how many defensive tackles can play well beyond their 30? You know how many can't? Y'all need to stop that mess. We get a Calais Campbell and 2 or 3 other guys as an example, and all of a sudden defensive tackles can play to 40 now. Stop. Young guys are draft cheap. Exactly. But guess what? You trade Zeeler, get you a nice little 3rd round pick maybe, and you save $23 million, and you draft the 3rd round pick. But guess what? Who's up and coming? Who's going to need a contract soon? See, what I don't want the Dolphins to do, I don't want to keep winning 8, 9, and 10 games and not winning the playoffs just to pay the same players that's already here. Just to pay the same players that are already here. I don't. I want us to draft some more players and invest in them and have more on the roster. That's all. That's all. And again, I'm not mad that we paid Sealer. I'm not mad at it. It's fine with me. But I'm just skeptical about the decision. I personally think they probably should have just kicked that can, moved on, and build his team the right way. You just invested in the first round defensive tackle. Get some young guys, try to develop them. If they don't work out, that's fine. Go back in the draft next year and get another one. And let the young guys play. That's just my thought process on it. Do you expect us to just never pay anybody? No. I do want to pay people. I want to pay Robert Hunt. I want to pay Christian Wilkins. See, this is what y'all got to remember too. Yeah, but I'm not paying them that kind of money. That's fair. But that's what you should expect of every draft pick you get, that they ball out so much that they're expensive. And you wonder why we don't draft well. We don't draft well because we don't retain any of the good ones. If we retained all the good draft picks, we wouldn't feel like we drafted so bad. They just balling out to 11 level that you don't want to pay them all. So I'm not saying don't pay anybody, but pay the players that's 26 and 27, 28 even. Pay them the big bucks. Are we really going to sit here and ignore the fact that once you get in your 30s, it's a higher risk? I don't care if the risk never happens. It's a higher risk, period. Every year in the summer, I got to do a whole full, but I ain't doing it this year. Every year in the summer, I got to do a whole stream educating people on the difference between possibility and probability. Trying to encourage y'all to stop looking at the possibility and operate out of the probability so that you can be right more than you're wrong. Probabilities always end up probable. If there's a 70% chance of something happening, 7 out of 10 times it's going to happen. Stop holding on to one of the three. And then, and let me tell y'all, this is where people be hypocrites though in the Dolphins community. Oh my gosh, we always injured. You drafted an injured player. Possibility over probability. Probability told you that. Yeah, but it's possible he can stay healthy. Oh, Jalen Phillips got hurt. I mean, the man retired once in college. Oh, we get a player fresh off of injury, but he's good. And then in week 8 when he hurt, oh my gosh. Yo, we keep on signing or drafting injury prone to injury players, and then we complain about injuries because y'all keep on operating in possibility. Well, it's possible that we could win a Super Bowl this year. What's the probability on that? This is why I don't care. This is why I try not to entertain these injuries. Oh, well, if we didn't get injured, well, we should have known from day one we were going to have something. What did I tell y'all last offseason? Oh, Jalen Phillips coming back. He's going to be. I said, hold on, man. This man coming fresh off of an injury. First of all, you don't know what version of him you're going to get. And then there's a high probability he might get hurt again because probability in the NFL, when you get hurt, It actually is like a chain reaction sometimes. Sometimes you favor an injury that causes another. Probability on getting hurt more than once when you get that first one is pretty high if y'all don't know that. Do y'all remember for those who've been here for a while, do you remember me saying this last offseason? Let me know in the chat. Do you remember me breaking this down last offseason when I said the exact words when everybody was arguing with me, Jalen Phillips will be back and he's a boy? I said, hold on, man. You don't know what version he's going to come back. And there's a high probability he might get hurt again. Knock on wood. But this is what probably anybody who's been watching this channel long enough, did I say that last offseason? Yes or no? Did I say it last offseason? Yes or no? The answer is yes. I ain't got to wait on it. And this is what I'm talking about. But I got to be the idiot because I point out logic, statistics, numbers that suggest. How many games before the same old, same old? Yeah, this year is set up the same way because our opponents early on are really easy. And they're not easy, but they're favorable for us. So we're going to get out the gate, win some games, and feel good about ourselves like we do every year. But that back end is like every year, actually, a little bit more brutal, if you ask me. We get Chubb off the books next year, TD. Yeah, but Zealer just ate up some of that money you was going to save. Zealer just ate up some of the money you were going to save. Minkah Fitzpatrick already on the books to eat up the rest and a little more. And a little more. If they keep him. If they keep him on the current rate. But they'll probably extend him too. And save us a little bit of money on the cap by extending him next year. And if he ball out, I'm not opposed to that. But Minkah been in the league how many years now? 8? Minkah been in the league 8 years now. Ain't he getting up there too? How old is Minkah? Let me look that up. Minkah getting up there too. Minkah is 28. He'll be 29 this year. So next year we'll be talking about he about to turn 30, just like Zealer. And they're going to have to extend his contract. Same thing. Next year he'll be in the exact Zealer situation, looking for a 4-year extension. And what? I don't know what they're going to do because we don't even know who the GM or the coach going to be. We don't know who's going to be here. So I don't know. I ain't going to speak on it yet. So I said fire sale at the deadline. Tyreek, Chubb, Tua. First of all, at the deadline, if it's a fire sale, nobody's gonna want Chubb probably at with that contract. Tua, who trading for Tua at the deadline? And Tyreek, he might be the only one. Might be the only one. Hey TD, would you trade Tyreek for Scary Terry and a draft pick? They giving us a draft pick? Let me look, because they tried to tell me Terry McLaurin was 30 the other day. He 29. Yeah, he about to be 32. See, that's the problem. I thought Terry was younger. Knowing what I know now, I don't want him. He just like Tyreek to me, expiring contract. What's the benefit of having him right now? He about to be 30. And he knows this is his last big payday. So he want to get it before he on them 2-year deals with show me's and stuff. So I get what he's doing, but no, I was just had the wrong thought process. I thought he was like 26, 27 years old. If he was 26, 27, yeah, send him. But man, that man finna be 30 himself. No, I'm keeping Tyreek. Plus, he gonna want a big bag. He gonna want a bag that's up there with Tyreek. So, yeah, I'm straight. I keep Tyreek. Tyreek more of a threat at that age than Terry. Terry's good. Don't get me wrong, but I keep Tyreek. I was totally wrong on that, only because I thought he was like 27. That would have changed it all. So he about to be 30. Heck no. No. Leave us alone. We do not want to move on from Tyreek. Yeah. Almost the same. Tyreek is a different animal. Yeah. But yeah, man, there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I just wanted to come talk about this Colin Cowherd thing. And I thought I was gonna be like 30 minutes, and it's 1:00. I got this green screen behind me because I'm trying to redo my room, straighten it up and stuff, and kind of redo it. I opened it up a little bit. So I gotta continue to work on that. Broke a table and all. Now I gotta order stuff. I feel like it's all empty now. You missed my super chat, homie. I got you. Let me try to find it, bro. My bad. Forgive me, man. Forgive me. Keith Smith, the homie, he said, at the end of the day, it comes down to the QB. If you don't have one, it doesn't matter who you draft or sign. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. We be doing all this arguing and debating about all the other semantics. Yeah, that's what it come down to. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I be begging, man, just allow everybody to stay healthy. See, this is the thing, though. If everybody's healthy and we make the playoffs and get bounced in the first round, all they're going to do is blame it on, okay, the O-line didn't give a lot of time. McDaniel had bad play call. Like, do people realize there will always be a reason outside of the quarterback? When at the end of the day, it's like you have to go through the NFL and say, who's in it 60% of the time or more? You got to go down the NFL line ranks and you got to say, who's in this thing at least 60% of the time? And that's what Colin Cowherd was talking about. Buffalo in there 60% of the time. The Chiefs, Baltimore, Bengals. You see what I mean? Do you think that's a coincidence that those are the actual elite quarterbacks of the league? Of the AFC, at least? Just the AFC, you got those 4 teams that are going to be in 60. I mean, to be honest, they are in 80% of the time. I'm just making a threshold of 60, but they in there 80% of the time. Those teams right there in the last 10 years. They got great coaches and they got great quarterbacks. And then they leave 3 spots for everybody else to fight over, but it used to be 2 when Flores was coaching. But now they leave 3 spots for everybody else to little scrap over. 3 spots. And you got to deal with at least 2 of those 3 spots being quarterbacks that's on a rookie deal because they got loaded teams around them because they're not paying the big price yet. See, this is why I say, paying a quarterback the big bucks, you got to be elite. See, the problem is we've gotten so accustomed to paying the good quarterback elite or great money, and then you're stuck with them. You're stuck with them for years to come. And then you're playing on the chessboard trying to put pieces together that's going to make it work, and you keep on scratching your head like why it's not working. Like that's it. Like if you think about it, that's why sometimes I feel like a big fool. It's like this the piece that's really keeping you from winning, but we just keep on staying over here. Hey, leave that alone. Keep that right there. We're gonna figure this out. Like we do not look over there. Whatever you do, don't look over there. Let's focus over here. We got to figure this out. The O-line this year, the corners. Oh, man, McDaniel coaching. Yeah, but what about no. You keep that right there. We got to figure this thing out. That's what we do. That's all we're doing. But I get it. I get it. When you love somebody, you love somebody. You want to overlook their faults. You want to give them a pass. You want to say it's okay. I'll love you anyway. I'll let nothing come between us. That's all that's happening. It's the love for our quarterback. The love we have for our quarterback. That's all this is. Let's keep on loving away until a GM or a coach say they don't love it no more. We'll see. Hurts just got it first. I don't know what you mean by got it. Hey, TD2 are going to make these haters eat their words. I've heard this is the sixth year I'm hearing that. And I've said 6 years in a row, I hope you're right. It's possible. The probability is very bad, but it's possible. It's possible. We should have kept Brandon Jones. There's a lot of players we should have kept. Oh, 6 years is a long time to be right. Yeah, that's what people do. You could be right for 6 years, and then in year 7 or something, you get a glimpse of being wrong, and then all of a sudden, see, you were wrong the whole time. And then in year 8, we right back to the same thing. Like, this is what happens, man. Like, this is what I expect from Miami. I be expecting them, like, when things are at its worst, when you know for without a shadow of a doubt, that's when it changes, and then it keeps you in this rat race, and then you got to go through another 2 or 3 years because you're pointing back to, yeah, but if we did it then, we can do it. Man, like, we're too reactive. We're not really being proactive about nothing and going after anything. We're settling. That's what we're doing. We're settling. We're settling. It's exactly what we're doing. Settling. We're settling. That's exactly what we're doing. It is what it is. But I understand why they don't get it. The organization. Because most of the fans don't either. Most of the fans don't either. So here we are. Game 3 is the Bills. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Y'all get y'all some rest. I'm going to do the same. TD for general manager. Nah, I might screw it up, Key. I ain't claiming to be perfect, man. But what I do know is what we're doing ain't working. And I see exactly why. And I keep trying to educate people on why. And then every year or two, whenever exactly what I said happened, it's like people get even more vitriol towards you. They just don't get it. How many games we gonna win this year? My ceiling is 10, floor is 8. That's why I got us at 9. That's why I got us at 9. Last year I had us at 10. And what we won? 8? What did we win? I don't even remember. I think it was like 8. Oh boy, I'm out of here, man. Don't seek yourself short. You get it. And that's what this team needs. Yeah. But that's why they get paid the big bucks. Before I get out of here, I will say this. Every year I talk about this and I had these conversations because I see what this team is made of, hoping that I'm wrong, but I'll be right. But I just always open up myself to say, man, at some point they got to shock us. They're going to shock us. That's all you ever hope for, especially when you see the decisions they make. And don't get me wrong, I actually like some of the decisions that we made this offseason. I actually like them. I like some of them. But, man, I just hope they shock us. Make us proud. Tony, what's up, man? I see you in here, man. Salute to you, homie. All right, y'all. I'm out. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all take care. Peace.